Hi everybody, my name is Jenny and welcome to my channel. We are talking a lot about dieting on this channel, predominantly HCG, although I'm in a segment right now of just talking about why do we eat when we are not hungry, which is just very salient to my life. I'll start off with numbers, not great. My scale today said 0 gain, 0 loss. I hit a plateau. I did I did have two sandwiches. For the longest time, I was going down to just one sandwich with like a snack. But I didn't have any more low carb tortillas in the house, which I am making myself go to the gym today, which I haven't been to in 2 weeks, and start that process again because it's right next to the grocery store where I can buy some more low carb tortillas. And there's a Dollar Tree on the other side, and I don't remember what it is, but I wrote it in the notes of my phone. I have to go there and get something too. Um, bowls for my. Anyway, long story. Um, um, so I am going to get my butt into the gym, and I'm still dealing with some plantar fasciitis in my right foot. So it just I'm not motivated to go to the gym at all, to be honest with you, because it hurts my foot when I use it a lot, and when I'm doing it. But I mean, there's things I can do. There's things I can do there. All right, so I'm gonna get myself some more low carb tortillas. So what did I have instead? I had the chicken. I probably should have just had the chicken in a bowl warmed up, and then I'd probably be fine today and I would have lost weight. But I had two sandwiches, and I used the um, low carb hot dog buns. They're the keto friendly low carb hot dog buns. I've never seen them before. They came in a fairly large pack of like 18 from Costco. And I want to say each bun was two net carbs. Maybe it was four, but it was but of course the carbs were higher, and then there's a ton of fiber in there, and I am now wondering to myself, is it possible that the whole net carb thing doesn't come in play as much when you're doing HCG? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's only one day, so the sample size isn't huge. Um, and I did put a lot of meat on it, more than I normally do, and I did put a little bit of mozzarella cheese on both, and you're not supposed to do that. So, I mean, it wasn't good. I did find myself at one point wanting to eat, in the middle of the day. It was the middle of the day, and I just thought I'm going to get something to eat now. And I went into the refrigerator and I even tried to open a bowl that I had, like, I don't remember what it had, if it was the shredded chicken or, oh, it was a piece of chicken. I have a bunch of grilled chicken left over from the retreat that's in there. And I thought, I'm just going to take one of these pieces of grilled chicken and eat it as a snack. And I couldn't get the lid open. And then it dawned on me as I'm struggling with the lid, I never took my HCG dose for the middle of the day. No wonder I want to eat. So luckily, I struggled with that lid, put it back in the fridge, and went and got my drops and took them, and then I was fine. I didn't eat until 4 o'clock, but then I had the two sandwiches, which is probably more than I should have had. So maybe I'll try to start doing some more salads. I do have a lot of lettuce that I have to eat up in the refrigerator too, so um, I might try that. I might try to eat some salads and see if that makes a difference at all in terms of filling me up initially. But I don't know. So I'm on the fence about the whole keto bun thing, only because of one day, but that's okay. So that's all I had yesterday, and I hit a plateau. Um, and yeah, I mean nothing. There's no other reasons. I went 2 days without a bowel movement. That's not unusual anyway. If I'm not eating a lot of food, so um, we'll just keep monitoring the numbers. I mean, I really can't complain that the the day before was only a loss of zero point 0.4, but that's almost a half a pound, so that's pretty good. And the day before that, it was 3.5. The day before that, it was 2.5. So, um, yeah, it's just early on in the HCG journey because that was only day four. It's only day four weigh in, so I should not be having a plateau. So I need to figure myself out, and I will. And we'll keep moving on. So, we're talking about eating when you're not hungry. which is something I struggle with on the daily. Not so much on HCG, surprisingly, but anytime I'm not on HCG, it is. And even sometimes on HCG, but like as I mentioned today, if I go get the drops, I'm usually pretty okay. But that doesn't mean that I would not. I mean, I there's a difference between I want to eat, there's food in front of me, and I'm just going to eat it, and oh gosh, I really feel like I want to eat, even though your stomach's not growling hunger. I feel like there's three phases. There's a phase of, oh, it's in front of me, I didn't even think about eating. You're not stuffed full, but you're not hungry either, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll eat. Or for whatever reason you decide, I'm going to go ahead and eat. Then there is I feel like I'm kind of hungry. I could really want to eat now, like you would go to seek out food, even though you're not experiencing true hunger. There's no like hunger pains, there's no growling stomach or anything like that. You've eaten enough that day, so you don't really need to. So that's the middle. And then there's the true, like, my stomach's gonna growl. I need to have food. All right, so eating. I'm going to pull this up now so I don't see myself anymore. Okay, eating when you are not hungry. We talked about the first three reasons why yesterday in the video, and then now I'm going to read the next three. Number 4 is your friends pressure you to eat with them. It says, casual social settings can also lead to overeating. Here's a good example from my binge eating days. One evening, my best friend had invited me over for a movie marathon. I headed over in my sweats, ready to be lazy. I also ate before I went over. When she busted out the candy, I said I didn't want any because I was full. And she got a little angry and triggered. She wanted me to indulge in the candy even though I said I was full because it would make her feel better about her own behavior. And because I was a chronic people pleaser at the time, I ate the candy even though I wasn't hungry. Has this ever happened to you? If not eating upsets your company, then it's a boundary issue. Your friend should back down once you firmly communicate your boundaries. The solution? Surround yourself with supportive friends that support healthy eating habits, or better yet, let your choices be your choices. Okay. First of all, let me just say the first time I read through this, I actually laughed out loud because I love how the solution is get a new set of friends. But then in parentheses at the end of her solution, she adds, or better yet, let your choices be your choices, meaning just stick with your guns. No means no. Say no. And if they're like, come on, come on, come on, you still say no. Now, I totally get the idea of not wanting to offend somebody when they offer you something because that's how it is. We're not an Italian culture, but we come from, my grandmother came off the boat. My grandparents both did, from Austria. So we have a German heritage, which is very similar to the eat, eat, have more, eat, 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 have more, have more. You haven't eaten enough. Look at what's here on the table. Have some more. There's plenty for seconds. Don't make me pack it up. There's all these reasons. I don't want to have to put this back in the refrigerator. Everybody finish this. Pass it around the table again. That's how it always was growing up. That's how it continues to be when I go to my mother's house. And I'm not going to change that. I'm not going to change her. And for her, cooking is a joy and it's a way of sharing her love. And so when I am there, I will eat. I will just have to learn how to manage myself, such as in this situation. If I were her and I was going there and I felt like I was at a place that I could not back down, although candy is something you can always say no to. I'm just talking about like seconds. There's like, anyway. But sometimes it's even candy, like I come over and it's like, ooh, try this. I just made this. So if you're going in that situation, I say go on an empty stomach. It may not be the food that you've chosen to eat, but at least you're not adding calories on top of calories. That would be my solution because I understand not wanting to hurt other people's feelings. I relate to that. I get it. I do understand it's also something that we can all work on. Okay, reason number 5 that you continue to eat when you're not even hungry is that you feel obligated to lick your plate clean. Now that we're getting to some of the deep stuff, The resistance to wasting food is often a big trigger for many people. The fear of wasting food or sense of duty to lick your plate clean causes people to eat even though they aren't hungry. For many, this compulsion stems from childhood when we were trained to eat until our plates were empty. Although we are all grown up now, this has a huge impact on our behavior as adults. This is a hardwired belief that it is going to take some time and some effort to untangle. The solution? Well, she writes, start by reading my guide to wasting food. Yep, there's a whole guide on wasting food because that's how twisted we get about this. So maybe I'll come back and see if I can click on it and read some of that information to you at another time after we get through these 10 reasons. All right, let me just back up. We talked about this in a previous video. We all had to be members of the Clean Plate Club when we were growing up. We could not leave the table until we ate. I would sit at a table for over an hour afterwards if it's something I didn't enjoy, and I was not allowed to get up from the table until everything was eaten on my plate. That's how we were raised. So I get it. I want to tell you that when I went to college, I want to say it was, I don't know, it was my freshman or sophomore year in college. Um, it was my sophomore year because that's when the dining hall switched over to, anyway, they had all these plethora of choices. They changed it over, and they, had the grill bar for hamburgers and hot dogs, and the Asian bar, and the salad bar, and the, other options to choose from. And so, um, I remember I would go. My girlfriend and I would go, and it was an event for us. We would go right when the doors opened at 4 or 4:30. It was 4 something. I just remember the 4. And we would stay until pretty much people were all leaving. We would watch people come and go. We would greet people, say hello to them. We'd keep our eyes on the football players. I mean, it was just, we sat there and then we would just keep going back up and grazing and getting more food and eating. Well, it was her that actually said to me at one point, "Why do you keep eating every time you say you're full and you don't want any more?" Shocking. Shocking. Nobody ever, and I said, because you have to. I took it. It was ingrained in me. Whatever you take, you eat. You don't throw food away. Ever. You don't ever throw food away, which is another one of the reasons that's going to come up later. We're not going to talk about that today. But kids are starving in China. Kids are starving in Africa. That was ingrained in my head when I was a kid. Clean Plate Club. Whatever you take, you eat. To the point that when I was away from it all, I just kept that behavior going for the longest time. And let me tell you, I remember the first time I had some food and I threw it away. It just felt weird and wrong that I was doing it. So, yeah, it's a process. It's a process. Okay, let me do number 6. You're seeking your only pleasure from food. Now, she has only in parentheses, so it could be read as you're seeking your pleasure from food, you're seeking your only pleasure from food. She writes, when there, in fact, I should read her name, Carrie Helgren, I think is the name. I want to cite the person that I'm reading this from. It's in the other videos too. I think it was Helgren or Rengren. Helgren sounds right. All right. She writes, when there isn't enough pleasure and joy in your life, you will seek that pleasure from food. It's called hedonic eating. We talked about hedonic eating in a previous video. As a human, it is natural to seek pleasure from food because you are wired to seek pleasure and to avoid pain. So sometimes the desire to eat when you're not hungry is actually just a desire for joy. We need it, but it doesn't have to come from food. The solution? Find your joy outside of food and schedule it into your life. Make it a priority. Make it the priority it deserves to be. That's probably pretty substantial for me. I am telling you, my greatest joy for the past 20 years of my life has been my children. I just love doing things with them. Even when they were younger, like 7 and 9, I would take girls' trips and with me and the girls, and we would go on vacation to like a tropical island thing. I would never go with my girlfriends. I didn't even cross my mind to go with girlfriends. I always went with just my girls because that's who I enjoyed spending time with. I have always cherished and loved every moment with my children. I just do. I just enjoyed their presence. I always did when they were younger. They really weren't bratty or snobby or anything like that. They were pretty agreeable kids. Not that they were perfect, of course, but by and large, I mean, it's a blue moon. I can count on one hand how many times I would like go to the zoo or go to a park or something, and something would go awry and I would have to like raise my voice or leave early or something like that. It just didn't happen. So, they were a joy to be around. I love them. And then I love seeing the world through their eyes. It just like opened up the whole new world in a whole new way. I mean, everything. The most salient um, part of this would be when I took my son to Disney World, because I took my daughters a couple times when my son was very young. And then, we would do all the I mean, we just saw Disney World and I just saw it through their eyes. So we would plan things and all that I knew that they would enjoy and that they would want to go see. And then when I was planning a trip one year to just take my son, I just realized, shoot, a lot of the stuff that we did, he's not going to care about. He's not going to want to do character meet and greets with Disney princesses. He's not going to care about all the girly frou frou kind of stuff. He's just going to like, and some of the stuff that I thought they would be scared at or they wouldn't be interested in, the pirate challenge and some of the like video gamey things that they had there now and that we didn't even look at because the girls really weren't into that. They were more into like rides. My son was so different. I remember coming home from that trip and saying I saw Disney World in a whole new way, as if it was a whole different park, even though I had been there 5 times before in my life. It's as if I went to a whole different place, seeing it through his eyes and experiencing the joy that he was seeing in a different way, focusing on different things, but also seeing the same things in a different way. So, yeah, that was my life for the last 20 years. Now, my youngest is 17 and going off to college. And I think this was a big part during COVID of my eating. It really was. Like, I just gathered so much joy from their presence. So, this is something I have to take to heart and start looking into what things can I fill my time with that bring me close to that level of joy. I don't think anything will bring me to that level of joy. And of course, there's always going to visit my children and all that. But it's different when they're adults. It's a different relationship than it is when they were children and you were taking them and like getting all excited with them about different things. They don't like get excited about things anymore. Now it's more adult relationships, which is beautiful in and of itself. But it's, yeah, I miss that nurturing that I did. So I don't know. Maybe I'll look into like the Boys and Girls program or something like that. And although don't they want kind of younger people to do that? I might be too old. Although I'm sure that they would never turn somebody away. But yeah, I need to figure out um, what to do. We adopted another cat. That helps. Keeps me a little bit busier, keeping track of the two of them. Two cohorts in crime. They've each taught each other their bad behaviors. And so there's double the trouble in the house now, but they're both joyful. All right, so there you go. Those are the three topics for today. And we'll continue on this topic tomorrow. Let's see, we've done six. Maybe we'll do, we'll see how time goes. I might do all the four next time. If not, I'll do two of them and break this into two videos. But I hope it's something that's becoming salient for you. It's kind of good for me just to kind of talk it out and realize what are some of the reasons that I'm eating, even when I'm not hungry. All right. The stall was not exciting today because in less than a week I am going to the water park. I did my reservation to get into the water park. So, yeah, I'm going to wait at least 4 more. Well, I'm going in 5 days. I'll wait at least 3 more days before I try on my bathing suits and see which one I can tolerate wearing for the day. Oh, jeez. I need to get myself together. All right. We are. I am. We are. I am. Let's just stay the course. Stay the course, folks. Stay the course. All right. Where's my video so I can turn this off? Oh, there I am. There, my splotchy face. All right. Whatever. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.